and welcome to this special session of Weekends with IIITH. My name is Nazia Akhtar. The theme of this session is the JEE Gender Diversity Pool 2020. Now, those of you who have joined us for previous sessions would know that IIITH is targeting an intake of at least 25% women students through the JEE mode of admissions in 2020. So today we will be talking about that with the Director of IIIT Hyderabad, Professor P.J. Narayanan, the Dean Academics, Professor Jayanti Shivaswamy, and the Chair of the Diversity Committee, Professor Deepti Mishra Sharma. I will start with the Director. Professor Narayanan, what is this JEE Gender Diversity Pool? And would you also tell us a little bit about the context in which this came about?
IIIT Hyderabad decided to increase the diversity. We are always caring about the diversity of student pool in the campus. And towards that end, in fact, we don't believe that institutions should admit all students to the same channel. So we already have multiple channels of admission. One of them is JEE, another one is a UGE, which is oriented towards people who want to do more research. Then there are NASA channels for students, NRI students. There are spec channels for students with different social background and so on. In that light, we are looking at the gender ratio of students coming to IIIT over the many years. And what we saw was not very encouraging. We would like to have a very good gender mix of students because that has great benefits for the campus as well as for the work. With that aim, we then started to look at what intervention is possible to increase the gender numbers or the numbers of women students on campus. And that led to finally, after a year or we talked about it for nearly over 2 years internally. We took several steps to promote our programs, but in the end, we decided that we should have a proactive engagement to create this special pool or 25% of seats under the JEE mode, under what we call a diversity pool, which is currently open to the girl students. This works only on JEE mode right now. The UGE mode and other modes do not have this pool. The reason why we chose JEE mode for this is that JEE mode, we get large number of applicants, and our closing rank typically is in the 2000 or somewhere around there, which is a very, very good rank. So if you want to get many more people who are absolutely top class meritorious individuals, but also want to take advantage of this channel, there will be enough in the pool out there. And that's the reason why we chose JEE mode as the mode to implement this.
Thank you, Professor Narayanan. My next question is for Professor Shivaswamy and Professor Mishra Sharma. Why does gender diversity matter to IIITH?
So I'll take it first. And I think there are multiple reasons why it matters, and not just to IIITH in education, in STEM generally. But in IIITH, we are particularly concerned about it. And I would say the first reason is that statistics tell us that in India, approximately 48% of the population is women population. Now, if the society out there has almost equal gender in numbers, then our classroom should also reflect it, and which they don't now, not even half of it. So it's pretty bad, and there is a need to improve it, correct it. The second reason I would say is from learning perspective. And when it comes to learning, diversity always is beneficial because it brings in richer experience. And research also shows that diversity in a classroom always enriches learning. So to have more diversity and more number of women on campus, we feel will definitely enrich learning experience of our students, not just in classrooms, on campus in general. And the third, and I would say the most important perspective for me, is developing technological solutions to societal need. From that perspective also, when we look at it, we feel that a need to have different views, different perspectives on while designing and while coming up with solutions for any technological support or solution. It's important to have diverse views. And a percentage of a population's view is critical there. What we notice again, because the training is not, the women who don't go to, there are not enough number of trained women, then obviously there will not be enough of them to participate, and it starts from policy making level. So that's where we feel that it's extremely important to have that perspective. Otherwise, if a homogeneous group is designing and executing solutions, then it will always be, the solution will be tilted or biased towards one view, and the others may not even be able to benefit from it or use it in a friendly way. So it's extremely important. I think Jayanti can talk more on this.
Thanks, Dipti. So from my point of view, I will pick up 2 points. One is during learning itself, having a nice mix of students on campus. By mix, I mean urban, rural, urban, semi-urban, is good because they all bring their own experiences. But even better would be if you have a good gender mix also, because numerous studies have shown that women and men approach problem solving somewhat differently. So in terms of learning, it is important to have that mix. And especially so in IIIT Hyderabad, because we have a strong emphasis on hands-on learning as well as theoretical learning. So which means when you have projects which are executed by students as part of courses, it would be good to have teams which are made of both young men and women, because it starts there right from the classroom at the learning stage, how to listen to each other's ideas and take into account multiple perspectives and think about problems. So that's one important thing. The next thing I would say, once they leave the institute, one of the important things that you notice, and this is for decades, what we see is not only are women representation low at the top educational institute level, but also at the leadership levels in industry and leadership levels or even professor levels in institutions, especially leading institutions. You can count with a single hand the number of professors, or even less than a hand, the number of directors of top technology institutions. Why is this so? Maybe because we are not producing enough. Now, one of the main missions of our institute is to produce trained personnel who will be the thought leaders, who will be technology creators, and who will lead other institutions also. So we started thinking, now how do we contribute here? Now if you look at our own history of the past female students, even though they have been in minority, we have our graduates who are professors in institutions in US. We have these are women students who went and did a PhD after they did the undergrad with us. And they are assistant professors in leading universities in the US. So that's one example. And if you look at the latest being the startup age, we have women who have been very active in startups whose company got acquired by major companies also. So we have clear examples that it is possible. So why not increase this? And that would be a good contribution. And someday, maybe before too long, we will also see one of our graduates become director of another leading institute. That's what I'm hoping. That this is a small baby step towards that, increasing the gender ratio in favor of the women and making it happen. The interesting thing is, if you look at the educational system in India, we have colleges dedicated for women engineering colleges. But if you go to top rated institutions, the ratio of women steeply falls. Now, if you look at our own institution, we found that the women's percentage is very good at the PG level. And as you go to the UG level also in some other modes, it is better. But the mode that attracts the most competitive set of students and which has the largest pool, namely the JEE, that is where we find that we are unable to get a ratio which is better than 10% over the last 2-3 years. And that is why we have decided to concentrate on that mode this year.
Thank you for those insights, Professor Shivaswamy. Now, if I may, I wanted to ask you another question. How does the JEE Gender Diversity Pool work? Could you go over the mechanics of application and admission for our viewers?
Yeah, good. I think there's a lot of confusion out there, so let me explain it. So the JEE mode is one of several modes of admission for us. And as Director pointed out, it is an important mode through which we take nearly 150 to 160 students, which is more than half the class of BTech. Now, if you look at that, if we are aiming to improve the gender ratio, that's a good place to start. So what we have done for this year is we have said we want at least 25% in coming through this mode this year. So how do you make that happen? Well, one way is to create a diversity pool. So this means this is a pool of seats which is accessible only by women applicants. So this pool is currently for this year is 25% of the total number of seats. So the pool. Now, how does this work? Any female applicant who applies through the JEE mode to IIIT Hyderabad is eligible for this, provided they are in the top 1 percentile or in the JEE scores. So if they have 99 percentile and above score, then they are automatically eligible for seat in this diversity pool. So when the admission starts, the way it will work is we will fill all the diversity pool seats first. So we will form a single rank list of all the boys and girls according to their percentiles and then start filling according to their preferences. And we will give any female applicant there in that rank list the diversity pool seat first. So we will exhaust that first. Now, once all those seats are exhausted, does that mean we stop? And if a girl is not in the top echelon of the rank list, does it mean she loses out? No, it means she cannot have access to the diversity pool seat because they're all filled. So instead, she will be given access to the regular seats, which is the 160 minus 40 seats. So this means basically girls have the edge. They have access to 2 types of seats. One is the diversity pool seats as well as the regular seats. So this scheme, we think, is going to help us improve the gender ratio and meet our target for this year, which is minimum of 25%.
Thank you, Professor Shivaswamy. My next question is not for anybody in particular, but all three of you. IIIT Hyderabad has a residential campus. So students study and live on campus. Would you like to share a little bit about the IIITH community with our viewers?
Okay. So, as you said, IIIT is a residential campus. Also, IIIT is a much smaller campus than maybe other similar institutes. So, we are a very, very closed community. And it's a closed community in terms of smaller community where everybody knows everybody, I mean, by and large. And accessibility across groups within the campus is something that IIIT has been very conscious to make it very open, and the dialogue between different sections of the community, which means faculty, staff, students, has to be constantly there, and it's open. So it's a closed community with open environment, I should say it that way, and safe, because although we have lesser restrictions, but it's a very safe campus from the perspective that surrounding it is a very thriving life of Hyderabad, educational institutes around it. University of Hyderabad is next door, ISP is on the other side, top IT companies are around it. So it's a campus which is in the, one should say, in the heart of the happening part of Hyderabad. To that extent, it's very safe because inside, of course, it's safe. Outside also it's safe. And within the campus, there are guards all over, so that makes it safe. When it comes to interaction across between students, across batches, within the batch, student, faculty staff, it's a very healthy kind of an environment where everybody is very easily accessible, including the director in IIIT. Any student can easily go and talk to the director. So that being the case, students have an opportunity, have a chance to express their concerns, their ideas, and talk about it and have it being heard and also very often accepted for change and correction. Students also have another voice on campus. There is a student parliament, and student parliament takes up issues from student side and puts it before any decision-making body, and decision-making bodies in the institute consider students' voice, students' ideas very seriously, and very often things are corrected or improved or modified based on the feedback that we get from students from different aspects, academic, non-academic, life on campus. Apart from student parliament, IIIT has also from the very beginning emphasized that when new students come to the institute, they are taken care of and mentored by seniors. So a junior-senior bonding and interaction starts from there. And for that, we have a student body, which is APEX. And APEX is a large student body with a few students leading it, and then other from all different batches being mentors within the APEX. And whenever a new student comes to the campus, every student has a mentor, and at the bottom level, no mentor has more than 2 to 4 students to interact and mentor. So this opens up the possibility for these students. Two things: it makes them feel comfortable because there is someone they can go to for any issue, day-to-day issue or anything that they're facing. And second is they also get enfolded into the learning environment through these mentors, because they introduce them to different aspects of academic life on campus and cultural life on campus. So, and these mentors remain, in fact, they very often form very good friendships, these students, across batches through this mechanism. And also they then learn how to enter into different leadership positions within these students, amongst these students within the institute. So APEX is an important student body that we have. Apart from this, we also have students actually taking care of different aspects of campus life. We have a hostel committee which takes care of all the hostels and messes, whatever issues come before the students in the hostel that is taken up by this hostel committee. Messes also, canteens, whatever is on campus, the students have a very active role in all these um, um, aspects of campus life and in the decision making related to it. Another aspect that I must talk about is how are students spending time on campus, other than studying, because it's academically a very good institute. So do they only study and spend time studying? No. We have, I would say, a rich and rich sports life and rich campus life in terms of cultural activities. Now, when it comes to girl students, actually they participate. Their numbers may be low, but they are very active in participation in different activities. In fact, past couple of years, the best all-rounder student has been a girl student. Of graduating students, it has been a girl student. So they are very active, and we have sports facilities, even cricket team, and not just certain indoor activities, even outdoor activities. Girls participate equally, and cricket, football, basketball, all those sport facilities are there. And culturally also, there is a rich life throughout the year. A lot of events take place. So I think it's a closely connected, very well bonded community, safe for anyone who comes.
Yeah, so I would add to that. Our campus is made of about 1,800 to 2,000 students on a 66-acre campus. And within this, we have academic space, we have residential space for students, as well as for staff and faculty. Now, for girls, we started off with just a single hostel, and now it has expanded to 3 hostels. So the numbers are increasing, and which is good to see, but we want more. We are a research-led institution, so we do not shut down our business or our labs at 5 p.m. and buses ferry them to their home or anything like this. This is a 24/7 immersive learning campus. So this means, and so on, they can go to the research lab to have their own micro ecosystem within which they can learn. Now, this becomes very important because at the even undergraduate level, we encourage and promote research. So after the second year, they can choose to do the BTech with honors, and which means they get attached to a research lab and a faculty. And so they can work after the classes end in the lab. They can do their coursework, they can do their research work, it doesn't matter to us. That access is provided, and the students use it very, very actively, and it's very popular with our students. And this is how the community is built. The research community and the feeling of there is a student community that can interact after outside classrooms also. So I would say our institute that way has been thought out as a vibrant place where you can reach out and interact with not only faculty but other students any time of the day. That's how it has been designed.
Going beyond what Deepthi and Jayanti said, even though our number of girl students on campus are fewer than we would have liked, they are often found in very leadership position, whether it's a formal leadership position or a position they take for themselves. We are very glad to see several girl students taking up issues on behalf of other students by themselves and bringing it to our attention. And this has been a constant endeavor. And the leadership position also is evident. We had a experience a couple of years ago. A local IT company, Amazon, they were conducting a special program for engineering girl students for engineering colleges, so that they are given exposure to the company, to the technologies, and so on, so that they also get a good job. Sometimes they may not be getting the same kind of exposure in their colleges and so on. So they wrote to many colleges around here. The program was to be hosted by Amazon, which is very close to our campus. So when it came to us also, we told them Amazon, yes, we will depute 3 or 4 girls, but we would like them to be, we will see there, they may not be in the same level as the other students. These people may be far more action oriented. And sure enough, a few months later, what we realized is the program was going well, but the 4 students or something that went from our institute was kind of more like the teachers and mentors to the other students there than learning from them. So this is the leadership both in technology as well as in dealing with others. These are the things that we would like our students to imbibe, and somehow our environment is able to provide that. So even though they are small in number, their effect is felt everywhere.
So apart from student
question is about the ongoing pandemic, because a lot of parents are concerned about that. So perhaps that is something we should talk about too. How is the IIITH community faring during this pandemic? For example, could you tell us how the institute has coped with the challenges of COVID-19?
Yes, 2020 has been an unusual year. Our spring semester was going at its usual speed, and then this struck. And we took an early decision and asked the undergraduate students and the PG students to leave campus by March 15th. They all left, and we waited a week. And a week later, on 23rd March, we started online lectures, online classes from where they left off. From the beginning, it was clear to us that this is not going to be something that will end in 2 weeks and the students could be back. So we planned from day one how to finish off the semester, how to complete the semester fully online, not only for those who are graduating, but also for every student. So we changed some things of the instruction or the evaluation paradigm, did away with the final exams, the stressful exams, but introduced other ways of evaluating students. And I'm proud to say we completed the spring semester exactly on the dot, the same date that we would have finished it if the students were here, which is about May 10th. Everything was done. The grades were out maybe another week later. We held an online convocation exactly on the date that we had planned the physical convocation to be, which was July 17th. And right now, the monsoon semester, the next semester has started, perhaps a week later than what we had originally imagined, and it's going on in full Zoom. Beyond that, I understand the students of clubs have been active on an online mode, and I've seen several videos by the dance team, very impressive videos. They do distributed and synchronized dancing from their own homes, and they're put together so nicely that you think they're all dancing in one place. And I saw several of those on YouTube or other social media platforms. And I'm sure that the photography club has put out a mission now. They're asking people to send photographs of the campus so that they can create something where the new students who are coming in will be able to see the campus through pictures. One other activity that we were engaged in during the summer months, April and May, was concerning a community kitchen. We were told by the NGOs, we work very closely with that, there is a dire need of food packets to mostly migrant labor, but some other poor people also around here. And there was this large endeavor going on there. They estimated there were 30,000 people who need this food. So they asked if we could help. So we put our surplus kitchen, some of our surplus in kitchen capacity into use with completely volunteer labor from a few students who were still in the hostel because they could not leave or they had some urgent research work. Most of them were research students, PhD students, and master students. Those students and wide participation of the faculty and staff and families who reside on campus. Every day, twice a day, we used to go there, and I also was engaged in it a couple of times. We cut vegetables, help the cooking, and then help packing, and the volunteer from the Telangana TSIG will come. We will load the food into their car. They'll take it. It happens twice a day, morning and afternoon. about 150 to 200 packets every day. I think we supplied over 2 months about 17,000 or something packets, and it was a very satisfying thing to do. Now we don't know how this pandemic will play out. We wish things get normal and all the students are back here next week, if not this week. But we are ensuring that the academic experience is as good as any to the extent possible. We made some slight changes to the courses and course structure in the coming semester so that it is more client friendly. We also reduce the load for some of the students who are, some of the batches which has quite high load and very critical period of their stay here. And we hope this will be as fruitful to the students, but there's nothing that we wish more than having all the students back.
Really, can I add a point?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So, yes, IIIT, as PJN has described, dealt with the unusual situation in the best possible way. In such a situation that was possible. So he mentioned that some of the students had stayed back, and some of the students had stayed back because some of them couldn't travel to their hometowns, and some were, for some reason or the other, could not leave. So they were still on campus, and they did participate in the community service that IIIT took up. They participated in that. Other than that, IIIT also took a decision that people who were coming, housekeeping staff and other people who were coming from outside the campus, for their safety and for everybody else's safety, it was decided that they would be coming in. As a result, the staff to handle all the hostel and mess activities were very, very few. Some of them were given residential facility here, but still they were not in good numbers. And the students actually did, other than serving in the community kitchen, they also worked towards maintaining their own hostel and other services within the campus. They participated in that. One more thing which I think one feels very good about one's students is that although the institute had taken a decision not to allow people coming from outside to come into the campus because traveling during lockdown, it was not possible. And subsequent to that also, traveling through public transport is not very safe. But that means, is it that they all lost their jobs? Because now they have nothing to do and they were employed as mess workers or hostel housekeepers, housekeeping staff, etc. So IIIT took a decision to continue to meet their financial needs, and students volunteered in large numbers to contribute to that. So the sense of community is very strong in IIIT. I wanted to make that point.
I would add that, yes, we were lucky that we are an IT institution, so the switch was that much more easy for us because we were already very much doing all our businesses through emails and in the virtual medium. Now, the big change we had to do was transition from a classroom teaching to an online teaching. Now, that required actually cooperation on both sides. Faculty have to figure out how to do this, and students, regardless of their environment, also have to. So it's a give and take. So in spring, when we switched at a very short notice, we changed some policy in terms of grading. We said we will not do fine grading like A minus, B minus, but give A, B, C. And we also told students that if you have poor connectivity, let us know. We will give you alternate assignments, more time to do those assignments, and so on. So we are not diluting academics, but we are just giving you more time to do the same thing. And that worked well. Now, this new academic year actually started, we typically start in the last week of July or 1st or 2nd of August. That is our normal start date for the new academic year. You would be surprised to know that this year we have started just a week later, 10th of August. So our classes are running in full swing, and we have a large support system for our faculty in terms of teaching assistants. And this year we have increased that support system by, or enhanced it, I should say, by creating a position called teaching associates. So who will work closely with faculty, because all of us realize online teaching is more challenging in terms of preparation. You have to do a lot more preparation for the class than in a classroom teaching, where you can just walk into the class, use the chalk and board and talk. Whereas now you have to do all sorts of resource generation and so on. So these teaching associates are supposed to help, and teaching assistants are actually students. And remember, these are all distributed all over, not only India, but also outside India, because we do have students who are enrolled with us from outside India. So they are still cooperating and doing their duties, not only as student by attending classes which start at 9:30 every day, and also participating as teaching assistants. So today, as we speak, we are running a training session for teaching assistants on how to use a very popular LMS, which is Learning Management System, to conduct online quizzes and so on and so forth. And these are being attended by over 150 TAs. So this is how we are managing. So the pandemic has not slowed us down. It has just diverted our energies in a different direction.
Professor Shivaswamy, please tell us what is the plan for the incoming students, the new students who are joining this year?
Okay, so you realize we have both the UG and PG programs. In spite of the pandemic, we were able to complete the admission process for, I would say, about 80% of the undergraduates, and basically for 100% for the postgraduate programs. So the postgraduate programs are both teaching programs and research programs. So we admit through a process of entrance exam followed by interviews. This time the interviews were online. So they have all joined, and their classes started on 17th of August. And for undergraduates, we have a different plan. Since the totally admitted students is quite large, about 300, and since half of them have already been admitted, what we are doing is we are starting classes for them as a section. So a section of the first year will start their classes on 14th of September. Now they will be taking a lighter load because we are doing the classes online. And this is the first time, and they don't even know each other, they don't know us, they don't know what the physical institute looks like, and so on. So to make things easier for them, we thought we'll make the number of credits that they normally take should be lower, and we are starting with the fewer credits, and we are starting. Now, what about the remaining 150 or so coming through JEE? Well, they will join in December or whenever the JEE exams are over and the JOSA admission process, which is done in multiple rounds, starts. So when that is done, we will also complete our JEE admissions, and we are expecting that to be somewhere in November or December. Now, what will happen? Will they come to campus? Well, that is a million-dollar question. We don't know what the pandemic situation is, but we are preparing ourselves to have that section also start online first. And when we are totally sure about the safety and security of such young students on campus, then only we will invite them to come to campus and do their academics here. So in short, yes, we are splitting the class into two, with the first section starting maybe 2 or 3 months ahead, and the second section starting. They will all sync up at the end of the first year. So in the second year, we hope to see all of them physically on campus and physically getting to know each other and feeling they are of one batch.
Thank you for explaining that in such detail. So that was quite a comprehensive overview of the JEE Gender Diversity Pool 2020. Our speakers have provided a lot of information and context about this initiative and explained how women students can apply to IIITH through it. I thank Professor Narayanan, Professor Shivaswamy, and Professor Mishra Sharma for taking out the time to talk to us about the JEE Gender Diversity Pool. I would also like to remind our viewers that if you have any questions about the diversity pool, please write to me at admissions.diversity@iiit.ac.in. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.